Welcome to the Deep Dive. We cut through the noise, get straight to the knowledge you need. And today, we're digging into something I think, well, probably crosses a lot of our minds sometimes. What if you could actually, truly disappear online? Like vanish. Your digital footprint's just gone.
Yeah.
Nothing left behind at all.
Yeah, that's a powerful thought.
We're talking about a level of digital stealth that one of our sources today from the Savage Reviews YouTube channel, they put it pretty colorfully, said it might just make NSA agents cry themselves to sleep.
Huh, yeah. It's almost, utopian thinking in a way, isn't it? I mean, everything we do online, every click, every search, it feels like it leaves this trail. So the idea of just complete anonymity, total privacy, it's really appealing.
For sure.
And for some people, it's more than appealing. It's absolutely necessary. Think about journalists in, well, tricky situations, or activists, or maybe just anyone who really values their digital freedom. There are tools built specifically for this.
Exactly. And that is precisely what we're diving into today. 3 really powerful, privacy-focused operating systems. Tails, Whonix, and Qubes.
Right.
Now, they all aim for that ultimate privacy goal, but Savage Reviews makes a great point here. They say they're about as similar as a submarine, spaceship, and tank.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Totally different tools,
Right.
solving different problems in really different ways. And understanding those differences, that's key for you, our listener, to figure out what might actually work for your needs.
Precisely. So our mission today really is to unpack these systems. We're drawing from those deep dives by Savage Reviews. We want to help you get a handle on their unique approaches, what they're good at, and importantly, the trade-offs involved.
Yeah, the downsides too.
Exactly. So you can navigate these choices without feeling, completely buried in tech jargon, especially when you think about your own threat model.
Right. The threat model. Basically, who are you trying to hide from? What are you protecting?
That's the core question.
Okay, so let's bring it down. We'll look at each system one by one, dig into how they work, who they're really for, and then we'll try and bring it all together with a bit of a reality check at the end. Help you choose.
Sounds good.
Let's jump right in then. Our sources call the first one the disappearing act. So first up, Tails. The name itself kind of hints at it, right? Vanishing. The core idea is you boot it directly off a USB stick, like a temporary guest on your own computer.
Right, it doesn't install.
No installation. You do what you need to do. All your internet stuff goes through Tor anonymously.
Ridiculously, yeah.
And then when you shut down, poof, gone.
Yeah.
0 digital footprints left on the machine.
It's like it never happened.
Exactly. Your computer has total amnesia about that session.
And what's really crucial to grasp about Tails is this design philosophy around ephemerality. It means it's built from the ground up to leave no trace, like disappearing ink. Everything it does, by default, points towards that goal. All your network traffic, forced through Tor, that's the onion router network, encrypts your traffic, bounces it all over the world through relays.
Making it super hard to track where you are or who you are.
Exactly. And here's where that ephemerality really kicks in. When you shut down, it wipes the RAM clean.
RAM itself. Wow.
Yes, which means even if, say, some very sophisticated adversary grabbed your computer right after you turned it off, standard forensic tools, they'd find nothing, an empty slate. It's like a hard reset right down at the hardware level. Makes it incredibly difficult to link that session back to you.
Okay, so given that complete reset every time, who actually needs that? Who's the ideal user for Tails?
Well, Tails is really powerful for what's called operational security, or OPSEC, basically protecting what you're doing and who you are in high-risk environments.
High risk like?
Like, imagine you're a journalist reporting from somewhere politically sensitive, or maybe an activist organizing against an oppressive government. In those cases, leaving any trace behind could be genuinely dangerous.
You could have real-world consequences.
Absolutely. So Tails is purpose-built for those moments, those high-stakes situations where you need absolute certainty that your activity can't be tied back to you or found later through forensics.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But thinking about usability, that constant wipe,
Yeah.
starting fresh every single time, does that become a real pain, even for the people who need that security?
Oh, it definitely presents a trade-off, no question. It's incredibly secure for anonymity, but yeah, you're starting from scratch every single boot.
No saved passwords, no files, unless you deliberately set something up.
Exactly. No persistent files, no browser history hanging around. Unless, as you said, you specifically set up an encrypted persistent volume, and even that needs careful handling.
Right.
But the default is a blank slate, which, yeah, can be pretty inconvenient for just, like, regular daily computing.
It forces a certain discipline then.
It does, and that discipline is actually part of its security model, in a way.
Okay, so if Tails is the quick vanishing act, then Whonix seems to take a really different tack. It sounds less about disappearing after each use and more about having a sort of persistent anonymous setup you can keep coming back to.
That's a great way to think about it, yeah. Whonix attacks the anonymity problem differently. It essentially splits your system into two separate virtual machines. VMs.
Virtual machines.
Yes.
Like little isolated computers running inside your main computer.
Exactly like that. So one VM is the gateway. Its only job, its entire job, is to connect to the Tor network. That's the only part of the Whonix system that ever directly touches the real internet. And it only does it through Tor.
Okay, so it's kind of like having a dedicated Tor router, but it's software built right in. Your only way out to the internet.
Precisely. And then the second VM is your workstation. That's where you actually do stuff, browsing, writing, communicating, whatever.
Right.
And the really clever bit is the workstation VM is set up so it can only talk to the gateway VM.
Ah, I see.
It literally cannot see the outside internet directly. It only sees the Tor network via the gateway.
So even if something nasty got onto my workstation,
Yeah.
malware or something.
Right. Say malware completely compromises your workstation. It tries to phone home, leak your real IP address or your location. It just hits a digital brick wall.
Because it can't get past the gateway.
It can't bypass the gateway because it has zero direct access to your actual network connection. Your physical network card, your Wi-Fi, it can't see it. It's effectively locked inside this digital clean room. Everything it does has to go through the gateway, through Tor, ensures anonymity.
Wow. Okay, so let me get this straight. Even if I, clicked the world's worst email attachment in my workstation VM, my real IP address is still safe behind that gateway.
Right.
That's pretty neat, like a bodyguard for your connection.
That's a good analogy. The gateway VM is that shield, making sure your true identity stays hidden.
But there have to be downsides, right? This sounds maybe a bit more complex to set up. Performance hits.
You're spot on. There are trade-offs. While it gives you fantastic protection against IP leaks, Whonix isn't quite a standalone OS like Tails. It needs a host operating system to run on top of, usually a Linux distribution, like Debian is common, and it runs using virtualization software, something like VirtualBox.
Okay, so not just booting from a USB stick.
No, it definitely requires more technical know-how to get it set up and keep it maintained compared to Tails, and because you're running two virtual machines at the same time.
Right, the gateway and the workstation.
It demands more from your computer hardware, needs more RAM, more processing power.
So a bit beefier machine required?
Generally, yes. It's a more involved setup designed for people who need that persistent anonymous computing, not just a quick one-off session like with Tails.
Okay, got it. So Tails for the vanishing act, Whonix for the persistent clean room.
Yeah.
But then there's Qubes, the absolute unit, as Savage Reviews calls it.
Ah, yes.
This one just sounds like it's on another planet altogether. I mean, I heard even Edward Snowden uses it. That says something.
It really, really does. Qubes OS is engineered for maximum security, and it does it through really comprehensive isolation. The fact that someone like Snowden, who, let's face it, understands state-level threats probably better than anyone, understatement, relies on it, that speaks volumes about what it can do. See, instead of trying to make one single operating system perfectly secure, which is, frankly, incredibly hard, maybe impossible,
Right.
Qubes isolates everything. Everything runs in its own separate, lightweight virtual machine.
They call it security by compartmentalization, right? Taken to the extreme.
Exactly, to the extreme.
So when you say everything, what does that actually mean for me sitting at the computer? Can you give an example?
Sure. Think about your typical digital life. You've got work stuff, maybe work email, personal browsing, online banking, some sensitive documents.
Okay.
In Qubes, your work email could run in one VM, completely separate. Your personal web browsing, that's in another VM. Your online banking, maybe a third, even more lockdown VM. Your documents might live in another.
These aren't just like separate browser tabs or windows.
Oh, no, much more than that. These are entirely distinct operating environments. Each one thinks it has its own virtual hardware. They're all running side by side, but totally walled off from each other.
Oh.
You can even have special disposable VMs. You need to open a sketchy PDF attachment. Open it in a disposable VM. When you close that window, the entire VM is instantly destroyed. gone forever.
That is incredible. So how does that isolation actually stop an attack? If say, my work email VM does get compromised somehow.
Right. Say a zero-day exploit hits that work email VM.
What happens next? Or rather, what doesn't happen?
What doesn't happen is the crucial part. That malware, that exploit, it hits a digital brick wall. It is fundamentally prevented from jumping across to your banking VM or your personal browsing VM or the VM holding your private files.
It's just stuck in that one compartment.
Exactly. It's contained. So one breach doesn't compromise your entire digital life. It preserves the integrity of everything else.
And how do you keep track of all this, all these different VMs running?
That's actually pretty clever, too. Qubes uses color-coded window borders.
Ah.
So you can see at a glance which security level, or domain, as Qubes calls it, a particular window belongs to. Red border might be for untrusted stuff, green for highly trusted, different colors for different things like work, personal, etc.
That's a smart visual cue.
Okay.
Right, it sounds incredibly powerful. But the learning curve, for someone maybe technically savvy but new to this level of complexity, how steep is it really?
It's definitely a paradigm shift. There's no sugarcoating that. The learning curve is steep.
Why specifically?
Because it fundamentally changes how you interact with your computer, how you think about organizing your tasks, managing all those VMs, learning how to securely move files between them when you need to, setting up the policies that govern how they interact. It takes significant effort and commitment.
Right, not just plug and play.
Not at all. And our source, Savage Reviews, points out that because it's doing so much, it also has the highest hardware requirements of the three systems we're discussing.
Needs a powerful machine.
Generally, yes. It's not for the faint of heart, definitely not for casual users. But for those who genuinely need that top-tier, unparalleled security against really advanced threats, the investment in learning it, the hardware, it's absolutely worth it.
Okay. Wow. So we've covered the submarine, the spaceship, and the tank, metaphorically speaking. Tails, the disappearing act. Whonix, the digital clean room for ongoing anonymity. And Qubes, the absolute unit for maximum isolation.
Yep. That sums them up pretty well.
All sounds fascinating, maybe a bit intimidating. So what's the reality check for you, the listener, trying to figure out, okay, which one, if any, is actually right for me?
Yeah, the Savage Reviews channel actually boils this down nicely. Tails, easiest to start with. Just need a USB drive. But it's also the most restrictive day-to-day because of that ephemeral, disappearing nature.
Right. Start fresh every time.
Whonix offers probably the best integration specifically with Tor for persistent anonymous computing. You can keep using it, but it needs another OS underneath it, needs more technical skill, and decent hardware.
Needs a host OS, yeah.
And Qubes. Maximum security, no question. But steepest learning curve by far and the highest hardware demands.
So it really, really comes down to your personal situation, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Your security needs. It's less about being paranoid and more about, clearly understanding your risks and what you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely. That's the key takeaway. For most people, maybe just wanting some basic anonymity, say for a quick secure browsing session where you don't want traces left, or sending one sensitive email without it easily linking back to your home IP address, Tails is probably the clear winner there.
Straightforward, effective for that specific task.
Exactly. Gets the job done without a huge amount of fuss.
Okay. And what if you need something more? Ongoing. A setup you can use regularly for anonymous work, maybe research, secure comms.
If you need that persistent anonymous environment, then Whonix, especially if you run it on a solid Linux host, is an excellent choice. It gives you that crucial gateway isolation to prevent IP leaks while still letting you maintain a consistent anonymous workspace you can return to.
A dedicated anonymous work area, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then for the people really in the digital trenches,
Yeah.
dealing with super sensitive data, facing potentially advanced targeted attacks.
For those folks, yeah. People worried about state-level actors handling incredibly sensitive information. Qubes OS is absolutely worth the complexity.
Yeah.
That multi-VM isolation model, that compartmentalization, it's just unparalleled for preventing a total system compromise, even if one part gets breached.
So it's the robust solution for the most demanding security needs.
Without a doubt.
So it's crystal clear. There really is no single best one here. It's entirely about matching the tool to your specific needs, not just picking the most extreme one because it sounds impressive.
Exactly. It's about that clear-eyed assessment. What am I trying to protect and who am I trying to protect it from? Understanding your threat model is just paramount.
Yeah.
Are you worried about advertisers tracking you, or are you worried about a government agency identifying you? The answers point to very different solutions.
Different tools for different jobs.
Precisely. These systems represent different levels of effort, different technical overhead, and ultimately, yes, different levels of security and privacy.
Well, this deep dive has definitely illuminated the incredible range of options out there for digital privacy and security.
Yeah.
It's quite something. You've got Tails, the quick disappearing act for basic anonymity.
Mm-hmm.
Whonix, providing that digital clean room, that persistent anonymous space using Tor.
Right.
And then Qubes, the absolute unit, maximum security through intense isolation, the one someone like Snowden trusts.
That's the spectrum.
And the choice, like we've said over and over, it just boils down to your actual needs, understanding what each one does best.
And that really is the core takeaway, isn't it? It's not about just grabbing the most hardcore solution you can find because it sounds secure. It's about genuinely aligning the tool with the specific risks you face.
Matching the tool to the threat.
Exactly. Each of these operating systems serves a purpose. Knowing their strengths, knowing their trade-offs, that's what empowers you to make a smart choice for your own digital life.
Absolutely. Which brings us nicely to our final provocative thought for you, the listener. In this world that's just getting more and more connected all the time, how much digital disappearing do you really need?
Good question.
What are the maybe unexpected costs or perhaps even the benefits of trying to embrace these kinds of, well, fairly extreme privacy solutions in your own day-to-day life?
Yeah, what does it actually mean in practice?
Right. What new questions does exploring this stuff raise for your own digital security habits, how you use the internet every single day? Something to think about. We definitely encourage you to reflect on your own habits and maybe explore these questions a bit further.